Hey guys, I'm Canon.
And I'm Jesse. Welcome to our first podcast on Principia Online.
This magazine's topic is all about diversity.
We're here with Raina and Isan.
And we're going to ask some questions that highlight their past experiences that revolve around race.
Let's get right into it.
Alright, so pretty much we're just going to ask Isan and Raina a couple questions about like race and how it's affected them throughout their lives. So have there been any moments where you've been discriminated against?
Yeah, I remember the first time that I was like introduced to racism was I was at the park and with my family, and somebody drove past us and yelled just awful things, and I didn't know what any of them meant. And they just kept coming back and forth, so we had to leave the park. So I asked my parents, I was like, what did any of that mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first time I kind of understood
Racism.
racism.
How did it make you feel when it happened?
I was very confused because I just thought everybody was like good and we all got along and stuff, and that race it didn't matter. That it definitely had an effect on me.
So you were literally just like minding your own business in the park, doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And they just were bothering you for no reason at all.
Yeah, they just kept driving by us.
It's pretty terrible.
So when I was in the middle school, I think it was 2 years ago when I was in 8th grade, I went to Straub's. I think it was me, Justice, and Shalom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone else was there or not. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then we walked in. We just walked in normally, we weren't expecting anything. And as soon as we go down one of the aisles, the manager comes down, and he's like, you guys need to make sure you're not, like, messing around or doing anything. And we literally just walked in there. And we're just on the aisle in Straub's, and we weren't, like, doing anything.
Didn't even mess around.
And it was just, I don't know, I was kind of shocked. I was just like, you really just gonna, like, assume that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, like, it's not, like, an everyday thing. It's not like I'm constantly surrounded by that type of energy. But, like, it just kind of shocked me, because, like, you hear about it on, like, the news and stuff. But when you actually experience it, it's, like...
It hits different.
Yeah, it's just, like, it's just real. It's a real problem. Like, people think it's, like, over sometimes. But, like, it's still everyday problem. So...
Yeah, no, like, the fact you even have to go through that's just incredible because, me being, like, a white dude, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Like, and, I probably, like, mess around in stores much more than you do, and I never, like, get in trouble about it,
Yeah.
Which is just insane.
Yeah.
And the fact that you didn't even do anything wrong and the manager came out, I was like, hey, like, no messing around, that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
It is.
I've definitely had grocery store problems, like people following me, making sure I'm not stealing anything and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's very personal.
Yeah.
So, Raina specifically wanted to go into colorism with you because I know being both from black and white heritage, it's sometimes hard to have to deal with both sides. So how have you experienced colorism in school, out of school, anywhere?
I've definitely a couple times been told that I'm not black enough, and that definitely hurts because it's not my fault.
With colorism and everything, and you clarified that you say that people say that you're not black sometimes and say all this. Have you overcome any obstacles around that? Like, did you ever have any personal obstacles going against people who would say that made you feel horrible in any way?
I've definitely talked to that person multiple times, and I had conversations with my parents about it. I'm not going to go into detail about that. Yeah, this person would repeatedly tell me that I wasn't black enough, or that, and some people told me that I should, like, lean into my white side. So,
if you don't mind me asking, how did you overcome those issues, if you have?
Well, being biracial, it's like if you feel like there's like two sides of the world and you just kind of feel stuck all the time, like
you have to choose.
Yeah, you just have nowhere to go. So it's definitely a huge hurdle to jump over. But like, you have to come to a realization that we're all just like people. Like, there isn't a group. There isn't a group. So
One thing I wanted to ask both of you guys is to get on the positive side, because not everything is always negative about being black. So how has being a POC been good in your life? What parts do you love about your culture and being black in general?
Because I'm from I'm not essentially just African American. I'm black because I'm from Africa, South America. So I have a big mix, and my experience hasn't only been in America. So I'm grateful that I'm able to have a diverse culture.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anyone else's culture is not diverse, but
Yeah.
that's just I'm just saying what I know and what I'm grateful for. So I'm really grateful for how I grew up. It's different. Everyone's experience is different, based on your culture, and I'm grateful for mine. I get to travel a lot, and it's just it's fun switching between all three of them. South America, coming here, and then going back to Zambia. It's kind of fun to see the different how people interact and stuff.
So you have a pretty good mix of those cultures. You got sort of American culture, white culture. You got South American culture. You got African culture. That's cool.
So I get to see all the different perspectives, and so I'm not just single-minded when it comes to these topics. I can see from both
Multiple sides.
Yeah, multiple different sides. So
It's good to have a good perspective on things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kind of like Isan was saying. I feel I can really get a perspective.
Oh yeah. So this is kind of a controversial question. You don't even need to answer it because it's kind of it's pretty out there. So how do you think Prin is doing to sort of respect POC? Could they do any better? And if they could do better, what could they do to improve?
I know they're this is a good school, and I know they're trying to, but they can't make drastic changes that quickly. It just has to happen over time. They can't just say, "Oh, we need a bunch of black people to come here or people of color," or just it just has to happen over time. They can advertise it, but it won't happen instantly. It's just one of those things that's just gonna take time. And they're taking small steps. The new teachers that are coming in, it's cool. The difference. They're taking small steps, and you can't make a big leap when it comes to this. You said I let it happen over time, and they're doing a good job. I think they're not doing anything to slow it down. They're only trying to look for the positive and doing what they can.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool to sort of get a better grip of what's been going on in other people's lives. All that.
Is there anything you guys want to add on for the ending?
I think I pretty much feel good about this conversation.
Yeah, this was very enlightening.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that was a great combo, right, Canon?
Yeah, it was. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
We hope you learned something new from this podcast.
And we'll see you next time on Principia Online.
Bye.